What's up guys, it's WebSoak here. Today we are starting a new Minecraft city, Rhodinia. Rhodinia takes New Appalachia's time progression system to the extreme. Starting in 1618, this series begins at the very start of Rhodinia's timeline. Rhodinia is a realistic, fictional Swedish colony occupying what was in the real timeline Rhode Island. Rhodinia colony exists at the southern tip of Colonia, a 17-kilometer long island of meadowlands resembling Manhattan in shape. The population of the colony is mostly made up of Swedes. However, 30% of the population are Finnish. A sizable minority of Germans from Prussia are also present. Now for some of Rhodinia's initial history or lore. If you're not interested in the lore, I will provide a timestamp for you to skip to. Prussian explorer Sascha von Rode discovered the lands in 1591. Rode decided that the lands were to be named Rhodinia. In southern Rhodinia, a roughly 17-kilometer long island was discovered covered in meadows. This island was named Colonia. Colonia itself sits along the Rhodinia Sound as well as being divided from mainland Rhodinia by the Weser River. By late 1591, Rode returned to Prussia with a map of what he thought was the extent of Rhodinia. Due to a lack of interest in Prussia, Rode sold the map of the territory to Sweden. Sweden showed great interest in the new lands. This time, Sweden would sponsor his return exploratory voyage, and Rode was sent to explore the rest of the territory and report his findings directly to the King of Sweden. Unfortunately for Rode, perhaps fortunately for the natives, the vessel that would return in 1592 only had one crew member on board. Joseph Keiplek claimed that the rest of the crew was killed by Native Americans. Swedish authorities deemed it to be suspicious that he was the sole survivor of such an attack. The ship was then searched, and it is discovered that Keiplek abandoned the rest of the men in Colonia in order to take the riches for himself. The rest of the explorers, including Rode, are declared lost to the New World. With the promise of getting off easy, Keiplek admits to leaving the rest of the team to starve in Colonia in order to steal their riches. Keiplek is found guilty on 11 counts of murder and is sentenced to death via decapitation by axe. Following this, Rhodinia's image of the promised meadowlands is ruined, and the territory becomes a legend to the Swedish public. Fast forward roughly 2 decades later, in January of 1618, the Keiplek trial was rediscovered. Along with it, the lost lands of Rhodinia are brought back to the public eye. As a major war between Catholic and Protestant countries becomes more likely in Europe, many average citizens begin to fear a draft. As war looms over Europe, anti-war Swedes begin pushing for the establishment of a colony in Rhodinia. This is seen as a way for them to escape a brewing war. In March of 1618, the King of Sweden agrees to sponsor a colonial voyage to Rhodinia. To the common man, this was a way to avoid the endless wars in Europe. To the king, it was spreading the glory of Sweden to the New World. The colony would be made up mostly of Swedes. However, 30% of the initial population was listed as Finnish, as Sweden had control of Finland at the time. Well, a sizable minority of Prussians managed to get in on it, claiming the lands to be Prussian as a Prussian explorer had discovered them. Nevertheless, they were joining the Swedish colonists. Rhodinia colony would eventually be founded on May 29, 1618. The colony was promptly set up, and the colonists would begin their expansion into Colonia. On June 19, 1618, the Rhodinians signed a treaty with the Neantic tribes in the region. It was agreed that the Swedes would not build beyond the boundaries of the Bothnia Creek. It was specifically stated in the treaty that Swedes could not build beyond the creek. It wasn't even 2 months later that the bounds of the treaty were pushed. Rhodinians had sought to expand Bothnia Street north. However, doing this would require the road to cover up a portion of the creek, thus violating the treaty. When Native Americans claimed this to be in violation of the treaty, Rhodinians claimed that it was allowed, as the treaty only barred Swedes from building beyond the creek and not the Finns that had built it. We pick up with the map in October of 1618. What's up, guys? It's WebSoak here again, and today I'm in-game in the Rhodinia colony, and today I have my first episode of the new Minecraft City series. And today let's have a look at the colony now that we have gone through the lore. I hope you guys enjoyed the lore section of the initial founding of the colony. And now that we've gone through that, let's have a look at the colony in-game. So we are going to head counterclockwise as we explore. We are going to start at Rhodinia Road and the waterfront, which has yet to be named. So over here we have this fort. This is being built by TMC. This is a defensive position here. We need to be able to defend the colony from all types of aggressors that we might encounter out here. Then over here, if we head a little bit north to Stockholm Street, I have set up a sheriff's office here. All the buildings in this era have these sharp roofs over here. These are how they're going to be. So for a while, you're going to see buildings like this instead of flat roofs. This is what we have, and they all have chimneys as well. So that's a thing. We can look down the chimney. We can be Santa Claus and sneak into the house. And Merry Christmas. We are inside. And yeah, so that's this house here. There are a lot that will look like this. This is sort of like the apartments of the time for colonial cities in New England. Technically here we're in New Sweden, but not New England yet, but we'll see how long that lasts. Then the rain stops, the sun comes out. Oh my god, it's so bright. Put the overcast back on. It's very painful. Much better. I wish it wouldn't be that dark though. Then we have Orchid Streets, and yes, there's not a lot built on the east side of the city. I'm considering anything east of Rhodinia Road to be the east side. Then over here we have Siege Street, named Siege Street because this is where the colonists believe any invasion or siege of the city would occur from. And if we head back to the colony, then we have these Swedish flags here. These are old Swedish flags, no longer in use. These were from the days of the Swedish Empire. Alright, so if we go over here, then we have the end of Siege Street and the start of Helsinki Street, a Finnish name. Here we have the Bofnir Creek, symbolic for the divide between the colony and the Neantic lands of Colonia. But also, other than that, it's just a cool creek. I mean, how cool will it be when people join the series later on and they haven't even seen this, and I just mentioned like a story of it being covered up by a road, right? So you have this creek here, and much like in real cities, they'll eventually cover it over with an arch and then build roads over it. Here we have the Deevman residence. Deev is another builder, or a Deevman. He's another builder. That's not his actual name, of course. It's just his username. And you'd like to subscribe to his channel. His main channel is Noble Xenon. So he's participating in this map, and special thanks to TMC and Deevman. We are splitting the server cost this time so that it's not all on me. Just think that it would be cool to have everybody building their house in the same neighborhood at first. I mean, I don't know what will happen later on, but in New Appalachia we had the headquarters, and these are sort of like headquarters. So here's my house, so WebSoak residence. That's my gate right there. Made this with little tiles, and I animated the door. And the sun's coming out again. And let's go into my house. So this is based off an early American colonial wooden framed house. So let's go inside. I did not furnish the whole thing, but I did furnish, or mostly furnish. I was about to say lobby, the kitchen, and first floor. And yeah, that's my lamp design. I'll make it day. again. There you go. Just some storage here. Some ammunition, of course. Never know when I'll need that. And over here we have the second floor. I'm so used to touring subway stations that I was about to say the upper level. When I entered the house, I almost said the lobby, and then the upper level. And over here, before we head over to Bachmann Streets, which has some shops already. Here's my horse. Beautiful breed, of course. Beautiful stallion right there. And let's take the horse, ride the horse over to Bachmann Streets. And last thing with my house, there is an outhouse there. And I can just go over here and have a nice little gander at the creek. And unfortunately, it does seem like there was a horrible accident. And my horse has unfortunately died. So, oh, there's the horse. Thought it disappeared. And I had to kill a different horse to make it look like it didn't just despawn. So we head down Pocket Streets, which is written in Swedish there, according to Google Translate. It's Fika Street. Head down Prussia Street over here. And we are now heading over to the main section of Bothnia Creek. Follow Colonial Street and we arrive at Bachmann Street. So, Bothnia Street follows the Bothnia Creek, thus giving it its name of Bothnia Street. We pass by Sweden Street and we arrive over at the covered up portion of the creek. So we can see down here, and just almost fell in. Hopefully my horse doesn't run off. And here we are. So this is the covered up portion of the Bothnia Creek, the one that violated the treaty, because you can see the structure extends across and into the Neantic territory, all the way out here and into the meadows. Why does my horse keep running off? You know what? You're not a good horse. Taking a lot of health. Most of them took 3 hits. And this is where the creek enters the tunnel, or the canal. It's not really a tunnel because it was a canal that they built to cover up. So I don't know if you would call this a tunnel because it's artificial. Bothnia Street bends to follow the contour of the Bothnia Creek, which widens out over here. And look at that. And we come over here, Sign Club. This is where the signs are made. Specifically the street signs as well as some shop signs. So any sign that uses this design is made in the Sign Club. So there it is, Sign Club. Nice. And I want there to be a bunch of seafood type stuff over here, as well as some shops, since this would be a reasonable place to go fishing. And here we have a fish market, since there were no grocery stores. I'd assume that they would have markets instead of grocery stores. So there's lobster sitting out, and some cod, and some boxes of stuff that they don't want to spoil in the sun. But there's no ice to keep it warm, so better be fast or this stuff's going. And that's what we have over there. Then over here we have the Falun Crook. The Falun Brook. And here's the triangle, the Stockholm Triangle. Maybe we'll call it that, or the Breezy Street Triangle. I don't know. Who knows? Okay, so that's it. That's what we have. So I hope you guys enjoyed this first tour of the colony. I'll be giving updates of this pretty often because this is pretty fun. And I think I'd like to wall off this section, this area here, because you just fall in. It's not fun to just fall in. So I'll probably wall this off. And yeah, see you guys next episode. If you enjoyed, then remember to subscribe, leave a like, and comments. Share the video with your friends. I am WebSoak, and we are back at the south end of Rhodinia Road, and I am saying goodbye. Thank you so much for colonizing. I'm just kidding. Thank you so much for watching. Whoa. Goodbye.